Yeah, it was a really special round, wasn't it? And just take a look at that top 8, really starting to take shape. Now, of course, the traditional Anzac Day clash was at the MCG, but in AFL Europe, they've actually got their own tradition. And I sat down with Jasmine Caruana this week to chat all things Anzac Day in Europe. Jasmine, welcome to the Aussie Rules Show here on BT Sport.
Thanks, Ollie. Thank you for having me.
Hey, I got to say right off the bat, it's actually incredible seeing the sport grow in Europe. It must just be so satisfying for you to watch.
Yeah, it's awesome. We saw a really big participation. It's going heaps for women's, which is awesome. And there's, more countries being involved than ever. We're getting, Poland involved. They're just getting a league started. Denmark is getting involved more, and Sweden. So, yeah, it's going huge, and we can't wait to see what's happening in the future.
No, neither can we, and we'll be all over it here on the Aussie Rules Show. We're absolutely loving it. Now, of course, throughout the episode, we've been talking about Anzac Day and, of course, the traditional game at the MCG, but you guys have got your own tradition. Please, just tell me about it. I love it.
We just finished up in Villers-Bretonneux in France, so that's where in World War I, in 1916, 1918, the Australians were in France, and then in 1918 they came to Villers-Bretonneux to help the French. We had a women's and a men's competition, and it was Australia versus France. The Saturday we had an Aussie Kick clinic, so local kids in it's a very, very small country town, as what we would call it back home in Australia. The Australian team were awesome. They don't really speak French, so to communicate, it was a little bit harder, but everyone had fun. All the kids got to keep an Aussie Kick footy. On Sunday, we kicked off with a march in the local town. The French and the Australian team got to walk down into the ground, and then they faced off in a competition. And yeah, it was really just about friendship, camaraderie, the spirit of the game, the spirit of the Anzacs, what that was all about. And we had 2 really great matches.
We measure the feelings, the emotion around this event, the Anzac, especially since this year with our new coach, Jasmine, who is himself Australian and had relatives, family here who died during the war. So it's really important as well to us to play this game and to be present here in Villers-Bretonneux.
The clear theme was the Anzac history and the reasons why we're here on this particular weekend. That was sort of what we focused on before the match in all of our conversations, really drawing back to the purpose of what we're doing here. And I guess you could say the footy almost took a backward seat.
I know that feeling of being away and living in England for 4 years, and when Anzac Day rolls around, there is a really emotional connection to the day, and I can only imagine what it must have felt like, doing that together with people that might not even know each other potentially.
Yeah, it really was. Particularly for the Australian team, they've never met before. Everyone was new. No one, the connection was with the Anzacs. So share what their stories were, how they were connected to the Anzacs, what it meant to them.
This is such an important place for Australia and our connections with World War I, and to be able to come over here and play and play in memory of my Uncle Jack in the 50th Battalion, buried not too far from here, and on behalf of Australians and the Indigenous population that came over here and fought in World War I. It's magic, really, magic.
There were families that flew from Australia to come and watch their child, their uncle, their nephew come and play. And, to share it with the French, who share a really close bond with Australians. It was great. And we couldn't have asked for a better weekend.
The Aussie Kick clinic sort of angle of it all just absolutely fascinates me. What do they make of it? With the local kids going, what the hell is this?
It's funny because they kind of know what AFL is. Australia is so important for the town. Just run around, want to kick the footy and have fun. It's literally like they're in Australia. It's awesome. So
if we look ahead to the rest of the calendar year, what's the next big thing in AFL Europe? Yeah,
we have on June 18th, so it's a Saturday in Edinburgh, we have the Euro Cup, and we're going to have 16 countries be involved, and each country will probably have 2 teams, 1 women's, 1 men, and they fight for the Euro Cup. There'll be 5 pitches, approximately 500 people. You know, anyone's watching and wants to come down to support anyone, it'll be in Edinburgh, 18th of June. So yeah, it'll be great.
Just as we let you go here on the Aussie Rules Show, if anyone is watching and wanting to get, you know, play, you know, what would you say to them to get them on board?
Yeah, get involved. It's, you know, it's not just about playing footy. You get to meet a community, you get to meet friends. They become your family as everyone's a part of the community. Honestly, just get down to a training. You will not regret it, I promise.
I love it. Really appreciate all the work you do at a grassroots level to grow this great game in Europe. So, Jasmine, I really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Ollie.
Thank you to Jasmine for her time there. What a really special tradition the Anzac Cup is. Right, footy fans, let's take a quick break. And when we return, AFL.com's Josh Gablish sits down with Josh Dunkley.